Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Danganronpa. Let's see where we are as far as energy of people. We've got somebody passed out, but we don't have anything to do or use. And then construction wise, we're trying to make a cooking Monokuma, which would require kitchen knives and gas burners. So if anything, I maybe went down the right direction making gas burners, but otherwise we are in a weird position. So I wanted to look up what the Monokuma tickets are all about, and so I do now know what they are about, and that's helpful because that does tell me exactly what's going to go on. So apparently every time you go on a trip with the Monokuma ticket, you are effectively adding either one heart or one half of a heart to each of your to the person's to a relationship bar that it's just not showing you as far as your relationship with that character. So I've been going on trips with Taka. Basically I would need to, I think in one gameplay, have to go with go on potentially a whole group of somewhere around 20 trips. 10 if you get it perfect and you know what you're doing, you could do it, but if you don't know what you're doing and not following a walkthrough or something, then you are pretty much then on the level where you need to do about 20 trips, which means there really is just not enough time there for you to actually get where you want to be as far as how things are going to go. Like I'm not going to be able to move the narrative story from the main game over. It turns out this whole minigame is part of Danganronpa 1.2 Reloaded, so that also kind of highlights a factor as far as what you really expect or could expect from the developers of, or what am I even trying to say? Man, have I been making any sense at all, or have I just been rambling this whole time? Yeah, it's weird, to say the least. I feel like we need to clean anyways. I just don't want anybody to pass out. Yeah, let's try that. But you also, I believe, have to make all of the Monokuma things by the end of 50 days, too. So you're not going to get a perfect ending anyways. So they want you to play this game multiple times over. Like at least 3 or 4 times, maybe 4 or 5 times. We also have an issue certainly now with it told me that you get a bonus, kind of a passive bonus with Celeste, where you get more Monokuma tokens. So it makes a lot of sense now to stop going on dates with Sayaka, because we just don't even have a way of bringing up a menu to see that. And Leon, I guess, is passed out, so we can't date him. Where is Celeste? Here she is. So we need to go to the maximum and just spend time with her, until we get a gold star with Celeste, and then probably just try and spend time with everyone else and get the main story content, which this is holdover from the main game, main story content. Get all of that done, and then if we have enough time, we'll use the Monokuma tickets to try and get a ending with Sayaka. Basically, I think either that's not going to carry over, or it does carry over, and your goal would be to have every student survive and get the good ending. The good ending is that they give you their underwear as a present, which will be an 8-bit picture of underwear. Not particularly anything interesting, I'm sure, unless they're going to show us a scene in which we get to see each of the characters in their underwear, or it would be very weird if it was nude. It really goes to point how this game seemingly went off its rails with the weird stuff that they decided to add in the 1.2 reloaded version of the game, re-release of the game. Also, as a pre-order bonus to this game, you did get manga, so they did make manga. There was also Japanese voice actors who voiced entire scenes on CD. So there's this long interconnection of advertising and selling this, and that's somewhat typical in Japanese art, is that they will try to more and more in the last few years they've tried to combine video games with anime, with manga, with VTubers, with everything you can possibly think of to promote a character more than anything, and they love to promote VTubers and fake characters that a corporation can control or a committee can control more than a real person, which maybe it's just more obvious in Japan. Maybe in the West, Hollywood is how Hollywood agents and Hollywood theaters are controlling the actions of a lot of actors in real live actors, not to any great success from the looks of it, but maybe so. It really just kind of highlights I'm in this weird position where I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like, I came into this game wanting to play a murder mystery game, and now I'm playing a dating sim with a management element on top of it, and it's super slow. But let's try to go through at least one run, and then I'll have to reevaluate whether I want to go any further or not. Celeste says, normally my pride would not allow me to be alone with me, but fine, I will allow you to entertain me for a while. I killed some time with Celeste. Celeste and I grew a little closer. Would you like to give Celeste a present? Definitely. It seems like there are some fairly obvious things that we could give to Celeste. Like the Rose Whip, I think, is probably a good one. The antique doll we should try first, since we have more of those. There's a chance that the antique doll is wrong, though. So let's read it first. Let's see if we give it. Interesting, the gods heard my prayer and my wish has been granted. This is all because of my daily sympathy and compassion, is it not? Seeing Celeste so pleased with something I gave her makes me happy. Makoto, I would like to share something with you. What is it? My perfect gambling strategy. Is there really such a thing? Of course there is. Are you ready? Please pay attention. Whatever the game, you must have a mind for strategy. This will allow you to increase the odds of your odds of winning. However, the exciting part about gambling is that there is a power which can overwhelm any strategy. There is? Indeed. The power is luck. Luck. Actually, there are only two types of luck, good and bad. There's no in between. And that luck is built into every human at the moment of conception, like a computer program.
Is that okay?
Some call it fate. Bottom of life. The bottom line is luck is life.
Well,
Do you see what I'm saying? You mean that's your perfect strategy? Correct. See, I was programmed to have good luck when it comes to gambling. That's why I have never lost. So that's all there is to it. You're the ultimate lucky student, yes? Does this perhaps exceed my own luck? One day I hope to put that to the test.
I hope you are well.
Well then, have a nice day. In other words, less leaved. I'd say my life's been more bad luck than good lately. Gambling's probably not a great idea for me. Let's see, I just got an achievement for something. What was that though? Collecting 20 SP. Maximum skill points went up. After parting ways with Celeste, I went back to my room. So let's go and try and skip through some of this. Like, because I feel like there's a lot of new stuff we're gonna see. Alright, so we go back to her, we hang out with Celeste again, and then we give her the same doll again. We do go to different places.
There is nothing to be done.
She says the same thing. That's probably a coincidence. Or just to show that they really did not care to do enough writing to turn this into a dating simulator visual novel. Which really just makes it questionable as to why any of this content exists. This really feels like something that would have been better if it had just been a fan fiction, a doujin, as it were, or maybe an animation element if they were going to make an anime movie or something. But leave it out of the main game so that the main game can just focus on it. So like all these empty slots here, there's probably about 16 of them, and that's just going to be people's underwear in this same pixely art style, I imagine. Where's the doll? There it is. Seeing Celeste so pleased with something I gave her makes me happy.
Let's see.
Say, Makoto, do you like mahjong? I personally like mahjong, but it's kind of hard to play as a Westerner, remembering the phrases and the scoring mechanics. It's not too different from playing Gin Rummy with cards in the West, but slightly different. I've actually never played. Is that so? A pity. I was hoping we might play together. We didn't even see a place that had mahjong tiles in the rec room. They only had Othello. Are you good at it?
Yes, indeed.
Good. I am not merely good. I once played a game of Russian roulette mahjong and won. Russian roulette? Wow. It was a truly fierce contest put on by a half-insane billionaire in the basement of his mansion. My opponents were a fierce old man and a silver-haired boy who was said to have the devil's own luck. Wonder if this is supposed to be a reference to something. It probably is, but I don't recognize it. We played a modified rule set. I remember well the glass tiles we used. And you won? I defeated them both at once. I will never forget the angry, twisted looks on their faces. The crowd that had been invited to watch became positively riotous. Nobody could believe I had won. That is one of my fonder memories. Now, Russian roulette inherently means the other two people died. ... I'm really glad I didn't agree to play mahjong with her. More skill points. There's achievement for getting to 30, so it may be a shorter journey to get the gold star with each of the characters than I first worried. Unable to comprehend Celeste's fearsome past, I went back to my room. And we'll just once again deal with her. And then we'll, after Celeste, we'll just jump to a guy and do Taka, I suppose. He's the next one up, or should have been the first one up.
Well.
Oh, you wish to stay close to me? Yeah, I am not surprised. I spent some time with Celeste. So there's like a different line of dialogue that you get at the beginning based on your relationship with them. So there is a possibility if you gave a bad present that you would potentially get the same prompt multiple times. And I still have plenty of these, so we might as well just give them all away. Now, as far as I can tell, each item is either good or mediocre or bad. And so good, I assume, is just good, and there isn't a great. Interesting, the gods heard my prayer and fulfilled my wish. Blah blah blah. Celestia Ludenberg. Celestia Ludenberg. What are you doing? No matter how many times I hear it, I never tire of hearing my own name. Isn't it so splendidly charming? Oh yeah, I was wondering about that. Why that name?
Well.
Why? I mean, is it from something? Why'd you pick it? I did not pick it. My name was given to me by my mother and father. Come on, that can't be your real name, can it?
This is fine.
It is indeed my real name. Make no mistake about that. We know it's not true. Okay, so your parents gave you that name.
Indeed.
That's right. My father is French nobility and my mother is part of the German family of musicians. All of this is made up, but it almost implies that she's created this fake personality. So she's saying that her personality, the person who is speaking now, this made-up character's real name is Celestia Ludenberg, which that can get very confusing very fast. There's no way that's true. But okay, so you were born in so were you born in France or Germany? Tochigi. Tochigi? That sounds like Japan. I don't recognize the city. Now we're getting somewhere. I was born in the capital of Tochigi, which is known for its delicious gyoza. Do you know of which city I speak? No, because this is very Japanese. So the capital of Tochigi, and it's famous for its gyoza. Which one of these sounds like a Japanese word? Nico with 2 K's seems weird for pronunciation. Ashikaga sounds like a Japanese, or Utsunomiya. That doesn't sound like that's a city. It seems too long. I'm gonna go with Ashikaga. Is it Ashikaga? ... Does that mean I'm wrong?
Let's see.
Must excuse me, I simply wasn't anticipating an answer like that. An elementary school child knows the capital of Togachi is, so naturally... ... So this is completely unfair to the Western people. This is where localization really falls apart. Let's go with Utsunomiya. It's Utsunomiya, right?
Oh.
That's correct. You've proven you are roughly as intelligent as an elementary school student. Or a high schooler, maybe.
Actually.
You may be surprised to learn that I absolutely adore gyoza. I don't even know what gyoza is. It sounds like some kind of noodle. I love its stench, its base vulgarity. Is it some kind of seaweed-based dish? Or maybe it's a stinky fish? So as you can imagine, I'm quite disappointed that I will never taste my hometown's gyoza again. Never say never, you know, once we get out of here.
Is that okay?
We will never get out of here. How long will you continue with this ridiculousness? You should give up.
Do you understand?
If you don't, it can lead to murder. Celeste Erie's world stuck with me long after she'd left. The more I talk to her, the more I just don't understand her. Which it just seems so weird that she was preaching the idea of staying there. And she was the only one that was right in the whole game. So it almost feels like that if there was a second playthrough, Celeste should have been the character you would play through, and you should really try to convince everybody to stay in the school forever. Of course, even if you did manage to convince everybody to live in harmony in the school forever, you still probably need to solve the mystery of what's going on outside. You just unlocked the skill raise. When you find mono coins, you will now earn more than you did before. So I would say probably if you were going to play this game from the beginning and not just use a straight up walkthrough, definitely focus on getting your relationship up with Celeste and getting that raise ability, because that is the ability that is going to just double your mono coins and let you be certain that you have enough to unlock all the little unlockable things, instead of being limited on coins and having to pick and choose, or having to play this side game multiple times. I feel like a lot of the extra content certainly also probably wasn't existent in the main game. I wouldn't be surprised if the main game was just the main story and maybe didn't even have a way of using all the presents at all. Pew. Yeah, it would be fairly weird, but this game is just fairly weird anyways. So we can look at the handbook now. And still gonna be a while. Some of these characters definitely we haven't even dealt with much at all. Okay. Do we have anyone that's absolutely dying? No. Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pause this recording, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, yeah, where we are is we need a gas burner. And so to make a gas burner, I guess we can make a couple right now, which will get us somewhat close. Yeah, and if all this stuff carries over in the next, like, gameplay for our new game plus, then that puts us in a kind of uniquely well-suited position. If I could get a bag of screws, apparently we could get the Coke bottle glasses, which that seems like that's a new thing that we can craft. So, wrenches or screws. If I could make Greek statues, that would be great. Or secret books of poems. That would be great. Which would be marbles. Or chisels. Alright, let's go. So do we have people where we need them to be, or can we possibly downgrade / upgrade some people that seem to have better energy now? And I guess first things first, get the thing that needs to be got. Don't go crazy overboard and try to collect a bunch of things that are not needed to be gotten. Recipe book, we'll do that. See if she's gonna be pumped. Then that should be that. Really not that much is even that different. There must be a level here where people do kind of change their energy levels and go back up. Maybe not. Maybe they just rest. It feels like we're going very heavy with the garden, but heck, let's just do it. Like, I really just don't want to spend the energy here to figure out the right balance to this. To me, it does look like I probably don't have enough cleaners, but I may very well develop a assistant thing that makes it easier to clean anyways, or I could just use a bunch of items. And we're still just hanging out with Celeste until we can max her out, and then we'll move to Taka. Like, even getting the raise ability kind of doesn't matter at the moment. If anything, it's going to be pretty pathetic when in the fact that you can't sell the prizes, and I'm going to have just a ton of prizes and nothing to do with them. So, yeah, there definitely is just too many prizes here for the number of things we're going to need. You needed about 10 of one item for one character at most. So I guess I could have wasted some coins, but then if I had wasted coins, then so I can have this, I may have to revise my initial impression of you. That's different. The more wonderful things that I receive from you, the better impression I get. Seeing Celeste so pleased with something I gave her made me happy.
As for me...
Hello, Makoto. I must say I am quite troubled. Huh? How come?
Indeed.
I'd like you to teach me something. What?
Actually...
I want you to teach me how to play shogi, Japanese chess. Which, once again, these highlighted boards feel like if this was a Nintendo DS game, you could click on the touchscreen. And I think maybe the PlayStation also has that ability? But the launcher for the Steam version makes you pick between keyboard and controller. So, like, I can't even get the mouse cursor onto the monitor. It jumps to the center of my second monitor. So yeah. I don't know how you could click on that, if you could click on that on the PSP. I guess the PSP maybe did have a touchscreen. There was the PlayStation Portable, then the PSP Go, and then there was the Vita. And it's kind of hard to remember what capabilities those different handheld consoles had. Style-wise, I think the Vita and the PSP were actually a pretty decent design for a handheld device, much less blocky than the Nintendo handhelds, but hardware-wise, by modern standards, are pretty weak. And yeah, there's not as much nostalgia for them. There is a small project trying to squeeze in a Raspberry Pi single board computer into PSP or Vita, but there's not a lot of passion behind it. Nowhere near as much as there are as far as projects to put the same Raspberry Pi in a case that looks like a Game Boy, which Game Boys are a pretty bad design, and that's why you see Game Boys with their buttons at the bottom and the buttons being very close. Mostly quickly got replaced with buttons further apart on either side of the screen, such as the PSP and the Nintendo DS and the Nintendo Switch. If anything, I still feel like the Switch and the Live controllers are still designed for children's hands more than adults' hands, and so it's still kind of hard to hold them. I see you really are useless, aren't you? Okay, but I'm surprised you don't know how to play. Is it because there's, like, no shogi gambling circuit? Oh, there most certainly is. What, really?
Indeed.
But it's all underground. Shogi is a kind of pompous scene from what I have seen, so the idea that there would be gambling out in public would be offensive to the sport itself. It is rather shady, all things considered. I have tried my own hand at it naturally. Wait, even though you don't know how to play?
Are you okay with
That's why I wish to learn now. I placed my pieces without even thinking. What on earth was I doing? And you still tried to win an underground shogi tournament? Tried? No, I did win. See, now let me just hit every button here and see if there's anything like that I could do. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's highlighted in yellow like you could click on it. But in that case, I did win. What would that click to? Basically nothing. You won. I didn't really understand, but apparently my final opponent was infamously powerful. She was rather odd. She was a voluptuous woman who dressed as an exotic French maid. Again, I don't know what the reference is. There is kind of a gambling anime that came out a long time after this that this character Celeste would have fit right in. If anything, that gambling anime took the idea of gambling and did the same thing that this game does with murder mysteries. But how did you win? Beginner's luck, perhaps? I don't think beginner's luck works in shogi. Is that so? Yep, the more I learn about Celeste, the less I understand her. So she's been updated with some more skill points, which are still pretty useless. Reeling from Celeste's fearsome past, I went back to my room. Just go ahead and skip that. We're halfway through, or 2 days away from being halfway through. You know, feels good. So it kind of feels like, well, one, you get different art on the board each time, but it also feels like if they get super energetic, that lets you save the day, as it were, with getting your energy back. Alright, we still need gas burner, so let's get exactly one of those if we can. Nope, we still need a syringe. Do we want to get more energy and make... No, we need kitchen knives, so if I was to use kitchen knives to make sandwiches, I would run out. Alright. I'm starting to see how this works. Oh, how I messed up pretty badly here. Okay, well. So she's got to rest. And then everybody else needs to still kind of search for syringes, and since we can't really do anything else, we need to decide if there's anything else worth trying to get here. Kitchen knives, I guess. This one rests, and I don't know if there really is a benefit for going to the higher areas. I kind of have to assume there is, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and clean. don't think we need any more recipe books. But it probably wouldn't hurt to get one anyways. Is that enough cleaning? Who cares? Let's just go. Get a bunch of stuff. Hope that that's good enough. We've got like 8 syringes. That should be enough. We got 2 more characters leveled up. And I guess if I get everything up to a high level, then I could probably get the characters the other way so that they're good at cleaning also. Or maybe not. Maybe it won't matter, because if you get enough items to upgrade cleaning abilities, you may be able just to build the upgrade elements instead of actually having them grind it out.
This is fine.
Well then, shall we have a bit of conversation? But don't misunderstand, I have no affection for you on a personal level. I spent some time with Celeste. Celeste and I grew closer today. Would you like to give Celeste a present? Honestly, I feel like this game, while it may have scared off some people who were looking for something different, had they released this game that I'm playing now first as a free demo or as a prequel to the game or the first game in the series, and then they said the real game, Trigger Happy Havoc, is actually not going to be a visual novel type experience, or it's not going to be a dating simulation type experience. I could see people playing this section first if it was unlocked, getting to know these characters fairly well. Had they done the writing a little bit different, none of the storyline dialogues would have spoiled anything. What you could have easily done too is just have all the dialogue the same way it is and simply put some kind of visual glitches, asterisks over it, or just put in parentheses spoilers, so you don't get to see the whole conversation until you've played the real game. Although at that point, if you did blur it or put spoilers, then they would have to play the section again, so that doesn't really make sense either. It'd probably be better if there was just a 1/3 tier of a relationship that you could have in this game, and then once you start from that higher 1/3 tier relationship, that's when the main game lets you import over those relationships to the main game. So I can have this. I may have to revise my initial impression of you. Same thing. Look how quickly we've become close friends, Makoto. Have we?
Indeed.
So let me share with you something. I would tell you the biggest crisis I ever faced in my gambling life. Biggest? You have a gambling crisis? What happened? A shadowy organization was hosting a mysterious tournament. The game in which I participated was called King of Liars. King of Liars.
Are you okay with this?
It was quite a severe game. When you enter, they strip you of all your assets, money, property, everything. You must use your wisdom, cunning, and luck to battle through challenge after challenge. I've seen several stories sort of like that. For the final match, I had to face off with an odd duo. They called themselves the Honest Woman and the Liar Genius. Wow, they sound pretty scary.
Actually.
Oh, that part is not important. But during the break, I was careless and spilled some tea on my clothes. I was terrified that the stain would never come out. That was a very difficult time in my life. Huh?
Honestly.
I was forced to win more quickly than I wanted, so I could rush to the cleaners. I was able to get the stain out, but it was perilously close. If I'd waited even another hour, I would have been forced to throw out my favorite dress. That was her crisis? The biggest crisis she ever faced? I just don't even know what to say. Okay. So now we have menacing focus. Like, I'm gonna have to play one trial again at some point. Positively dizzy from Celeste's fearsome past, I went back to my room. And so that's like one line, and then you have 4 or 5 more lines that could easily have been skipped. Toko is energetic. We're not getting 2 energetic people very often. Okay. We need recipe books like crazy. Alright. So it's all recipe books all the time here. And then as far as trying to get anything else, if we could get a reference book, a small light bulb, and a triangle ruler, that might help. Or if we could get a bunch of wrenches, that might help. Or if we could get a bunch of screws, we could get, that might help. I think screws should be our next focus. That would help more than anything else. Do we have any items that we could even give? I feel like I probably should just use a feather duster. Otherwise I'm gonna end up sitting on it for no reason. Yeah, even a feather duster was overkill there. Well, we've got 3 days, and once again we need recipe books. But we've got a person that needs to heal. Rest, 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 and rest. And then recipe books only. I wonder if the higher the area, the better the chance of getting something. Whereas in this case, recipe books are in the 4th slot, but up here, recipe books are in the 2nd slot. We desperately need recipe books. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna do is recipe books. And that will get us fairly over energetic. And like 1 cleaner should be more than enough. 1 cleaner, 6 people all at the same place. Just like doubling down. We're at 3 recipe books, 4 recipe books. We're now looking for 10, and it looks like we'll get that. Maybe, maybe not. And 3 level ups. It is very questionable if you could really want to play this game 3 times. Though this seems kind of, you're gonna be at like 999 with each character, probably by your 2nd playthrough, and unless it just gets really difficult later on, which it might. You wish to stay close to me? Yeah, I'm not surprised. This, I think, should be the last time we have to hang out with her. If not, then that might imply that the fact that I'm giving her the same gift over and over again is having reduced responses and returns to it. That might be the case. But her reaction isn't changing if it's giving you fewer returns. And honestly, the scale does not feel like a real game at all. It feels like you either have good, 0, or best, in the same way that the Monokuma ticket dates are 0 hearts, half a heart, or 1 heart. Mr. Makoto Naegi, what's with the formality?
Let's see.
Well, you see, I was hoping we could talk, just the 2 of us. Could you come to my room, please? Your room?
Indeed.
I will be waiting. Interesting. Are we actually gonna run into like a sex scene in a game like this? Probably not. That would be a little weird. Yeah, so much of this game is sold and promoted by its appearance that it's almost a kind of bait and switch as to what you actually get versus what it looks like from the advertisements. And I would think there's probably a decent number of games like that where the cover art makes it look like something, or makes it feel like it would be something different. What I'm supposed to make of this, inviting me to her room all of a sudden, and she seemed almost shy. No, I must have just imagined it. I did what Celeste asked and headed to her room right away. At best, I feel like we're going to see her in a different outfit, and like maybe a school outfit instead of the Gothic Lily outfit. Maybe her in some lingerie.
I am so happy.
And we're going to get to see her room again, which, once again, it just feels very weird that everybody else got items and decorated their rooms and Makoto didn't. Maybe that's because he had hope he was going to escape and nobody else really did have that much hope. Or maybe it's because Makoto's just a boring person. I'm glad you came, Makoto. So this is Celeste's room. It's also weird though that you wouldn't have been able to see this in the main game unless you'd gotten really, really close to her. Yeah, it feels like getting really close to people the award shouldn't be that you get somebody's underwear or you get a star next to the report card. The reward should be that you get a key to their room, and going into that room lets you look around and see the interesting art that somebody has made for the art, for the decoration of the room. It would also make sense that if you get your relationship to maximum, that would just automatically unlock all the character art for that character instead of making you pay for it. Or, just being able to get a key to go into a person's room, maybe that you find a whole bunch of Monokuma tokens. That would make sense, certainly. But seemingly none of that happens. I definitely would expect a lot of improvement in the second game on the concept and the way this game plays, and enough to the point where I know there's a Danganronpa 3 and a spin-off game. I feel like since this is that old enough of a game, a soft reboot would kind of make sense with more of a different kind of gameplay mechanic in it. Moving on, so this is Celeste's room. Anyway, what's going on? Why'd you ask me to come here?
Actually,
I received the results. Results? The child growing in my belly. It's yours. She's parodying something to scare him, a joke with him. Wait, sorry, wrong results. You can't just say stuff like that. Congratulations, you've moved up a rank. You are now C rank. Huh? C rank.
actually,
Oh, I have a habit of ranking those around me. What kind of habit is that? The most common is D rank. I have no interest in D rank. Most everyone at the school fits into that category. The worst is F rank. If you're F rank, I pay a special organization to have you killed. Your very existence is unforgivable. Wow. Then that's the thought, just to have assassins on the payroll to kill people you don't like. I hope she's joking. She doesn't sound like she's joking, but I hope she's joking. Conversely, the very best is A rank. No S rank, apparently. No S rank in this game at all. That was weird. But among everyone I've met across all countries, I've never even found a B rank, let alone A rank.
This is fine.
So clearly she just looks down on people. So you being promoted to C rank is a very great honor. I see. Also, when you become C rank, you gain the right to become one of my official servant, a knight. Wow, I had no idea.
Indeed.
I have knights all across the world. They are all quite obedient. I recommend you take me up on this offer. If you do your very best as a knight, you may become the first B rank. Well, becoming the first B rank may very well be within your grasp, if I can read the sentence. So it seems like a lot of these endings do inherently try to take Makoto and turn him into a servant of the other people. And Celeste wanted servants, and Togami Byakuya wanted servants or secretaries. Perhaps even A rank. I can't be sure, but I feel like you have the potential. That there is a confliction here, certainly, a conflicting idea in that if you were to play the game and rank up your relationship with each of these people, you then are being tempted to change your perspective on the world to match that character. So now they're saying, think like Celeste, be like Celeste. Well, we know Celeste in the end died, and so her way of thinking didn't really help her in any way at all. Plus, it destroys any character building you would have from Makoto in general. It's hardly like Makoto is just a blank slate that you would see in so many other visual novels. I can never tell how much of what she says is a lie and how much is the truth. But after talking with her so much, I feel like maybe we understand each other a little better. So, as a knight, please be prepared to give your life for me. I haven't actually decided yet. ... Definitely can't let my guard down around her. So, she did move out of the scene, so you can see all of the stuff. I would say a lot of the black leather and lace stuff here for Gothic Lolita design might be a little much, but maybe not. I think that is a stuffed goat on her bed, a stuffed bunny rabbit in black, as far as I can tell. I wish I could zoom in on it, but it won't. I guess I can call her my friend, but this is one friend I need to be careful with, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Celeste report card has been updated with your experience with her. Base maximum skill points have increased. So we are now done with Celeste's story. The one thing we're noticing we can take from this is that it's not likely that you would run into really easy characters to get abilities and skill points from at the beginning. And it's not really like you get double the rewards for hanging out once with a character. So in a new game scenario, I don't see a chance of having 20 or 30 skill points with 7 or 8 skills enabled. My intuition is very strong today. That's telling me we'll have a wonderful day. We have 2 days left. We didn't get anything new. We need 5 more recipe books, and then 8 more wrenches if we can find it, or 9 more bags of screws if we can find it. And I feel like you just should not craft anything at all until at the very least you have the items. Okay. So wrenches. Gotta use the D-pad. I keep forgetting about that. So I'm looking here, trying to figure out which would be the best to go with. The art room would be very useful for collecting other things. But if I want the wrench, I've got to go physics lab. And I think that's pretty much it. Or bags of screws. Also would be classroom. Alright. So, art room, physics lab, main focus, and classroom. Okay. Do that, do that. Do that. Do that. This guy's a cleaner. We'll have him search to build up the 3. We should probably start trying to build up any 3s at all. That's a cleaner, that's a cleaner. Jiro's turned into a searcher. Make sure we get art room. Wait a minute, what? Why is library with the recipe book still something we need to do? That's weird. Kitchen. Okay, well, let's go with that. That should be good enough. Looking for bags of marbles, we're looking for chisels. We may not have done enough of that. Bags of screws. We may not have gotten everything we needed there. Alright. Now we move over to Taka. And I am not 100% sure what Taka wants. But... oh, so that just takes you there. I think we can try and guess. Taka is probably going to be one of the most annoying characters. He was fairly annoying. Yeah, you definitely have that problem of this game series in general, is that, or of this whole game, is that a lot of the characters were super annoying, so I didn't really care about them when they died, and I think they would have preferred if you did care about them when they died, particularly Sakura, whose voice actor and face and character design just felt very off model for me, so it was hard to relate to her. You know, sometimes what students need is a meeting of the soul. Would you like to study with me? Took some time to stay with Taka. Taka and I grew a little closer today. Give him a present, yes. Okay. Well, it's fairly easy to figure out what to do with Taka. Although, still not sure why we have 4 a man's fantasies, if those are key items. Let's see. Maybe you have to collect 10 of them. Someone's graduation album. We think that's right, or the second button's right. feel like his second button might be the first one to try.
I see.
Maybe I was wrong about you, Makoto. Let's continue to deepen our relationship, shall we? Does that mean you liked it? Yeah, Makoto, as long as we're talking, let's really talk. What'd you say? Huh? Oh, sure, that's fine. Excellent. Then let's get down to brass tacks and find out where we stand on all the big issues. So what should we discuss? Politics, the economy, international affairs? The idea of high school students discussing any of that is kind of ridiculous. Wait, hold up. Instead of a big serious discussion, can't we just have a normal conversation? That's the best way to learn about people, I think. What do you mean normal conversation? Oh, well, for example, what do you like to do in your spare time? Study, of course. I'm a student, aren't I? A student must be a studying professional. In Japan, they really believe that. And of course, my duties as a chairperson of the Morals Committee keep me quite busy as well. It's my duty to foster an environment in which we can all focus on our studies. Okay, but what else? Like when you're at home, or you just have some time to kill. If I have time to kill, I study. I see. This is fun. Okay, my turn, Makoto. What do you like to do in your spare time? You know, just normal stuff. Play TV, watch TV, play video games. And this helps you study how? No, it's not about studying. It's just for fun, you know? But doing things just for fun serves no purpose. There must be more to it. You wouldn't spend your valuable time doing something useless, would you? He can insist all he wants, but in the end, maybe there is a good reason, like getting into something and talking to people about it. So maybe actually it is studying. Seriously, it's just for fun. It's relating to your friends. You know how it's useful? It helps give you something to talk about with other people. Something to talk about, like when you see something awesome on TV or some awesome game and you want to share it with someone. You find other people who feel the same way, and that's how you make friends, see? What? Whoa.
This is ridiculous.
I was once blind, but now I see. What the heck? That kind of thing has plagued me for years. I tried making friends, but whenever I could, I would make conversation, it would die out after a few minutes. And now I've finally found the answer. I need to study more games, more TV shows. No, you don't need to study them. I'm so ashamed of myself. If there was a hole somewhere around here, I'd go and hide in it. I let it get to me. I wasted all that time and never saw the blind spot in my studies. I'm a complete embarrassment. I'm not qualified to even be on the Morals Committee, let alone lead it. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Thank you, Professor Makoto. Professor? You've taught me the most valuable lesson. You've earned my respect and title of Professor. That's gonna make things super awkward. There's no need to be modest, Professor. I can't wait for your next lesson. Until then, I will strive to learn as much as I can on my own. Well then, Professor, bye leave. I guess he's the Japanese equivalent of a nerd, but I guess the stereotypical Western nerd or geek probably doesn't really exist so much in Japanese stories. Without a reply, Taka ran off. Professor. Although thinking about it, I totally didn't hate it. Professor Makoto. We've unlocked attentive influence. We may only have to go out with Taka a couple times, considering he dies fairly early too. After we're done, I've decided to head back to my room for a while. Although, I guess Taka died the same time that Celeste died.
Okay then.
And
Sweet.
so it probably would take about the same time to deal with Taka and Celeste. Unless, of course, it's just imbalance between males and females, which I wouldn't be surprised if it takes less for Makoto to become good friends with males. Alright. Got 1 day left. We need a recipe book. Double the number of general materials collected. If I do this, I'd be taking steering wheels, 5 of them, and 2 Venus flytraps and 10 wrenches. Do I need any of those at the moment? No. So we're still good. We just need recipe books. And then we just need to kind of figure out what we're looking for. Secret book of poems. We can make 2 of those without ruining anything. Would that be music score and sack of marbles? Which I don't think there's a problem with that. No. Still, we need reference books and small light bulbs. 2 Greek statues. Could we make 2 Greek statues? No, we would need chisels for that. And we need Monokuma photo albums, so we should try and focus on that. And then bag of screws is still focused, so yeah. Do we want to make anything else? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything makes any sense to craft anything else. I think you should just stand on things. I could make like steering wheels if I needed a steering wheel. But I would need 2 steering wheels. So I could do that and that. Oh, I could also make pie calculators. We should try that to get the cleaning efficiency up. Still good. Pie calculator would be small light bulbs and reference books, not recipe books. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still good on that. Which, honestly, that might make an argument that we don't even need the long map. We may just be perfectly fine with the upgrades we have. We may have skipped over something. That doesn't matter. I really would like to get bags of screws, though, as my next item. So, what are we looking for? Recipe books and Monokuma photo albums. Or bags of screws. Is there any other place where we get bags of screws at all? No, I think it's all going to the classroom for bags of screws. If not that, then something else. Do that one. Do that one. Do that one. Clean. Let's go over here and go over here. Clean there. Do that. Do that. I'm gonna try one in the art room, do a couple in the art room, go and rest there. Make sure we get the biggest ones as far as focusing on the bags of screws. And Yeah, I think that is about as much as I'm willing to pay attention to, so let's go. The problem here with this resource gathering gameplay mechanic is it does feel like some of these characters are straight up just never going to be able to collect the top tier items until we get upgrades. Alright, spend some time with Taka again. Go to Taka. Spend some time together. This is so cyclical. This isn't kind of what you want. There's a game series which is like a daughter raising simulator called Princess Maker, where you really just set the schedule of the character and then see what happens based on more randomized events than this. There aren't really any random events based on your, as far as the dating and relationship parts of this game. And that feels very strategic, too strategic for my taste. Like I have said before, the Asian games tend to often like to be too strategic and just have a lot of numbers going back. I recently had to rage quit in playing a game called Disgaea, not to be confused with Danganronpa, because it was a turn-based strategy placement game and it was just so incredibly slow, whereas I would much prefer a action style game where things move fast and you can actually play the game without large breaks. Visual novels run into that same problem too, is either you put them in auto mode and miss dialogue, or I take a 5-minute break to make a comment between every sentence. Anyways, it says, sounds good. If there was anyone else, no way. If it were anyone else, no way, but I don't mind sharing some of my valuable time with you. Taka was nice enough to give me some of his valuable time. Taka and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give him a present? Not really, no. Yeah, I kind of question what the point of that would be, to be able to say no. I guess maybe if you're just insanely low on presents. Let's try the graduation album.
I see.
Maybe I was wrong about you, Makoto. Let's continue to deepen our relationships, shall we? Does that mean you liked it? I've been wanting to tell you something for a while now, Makoto. And now that it's just the two of us, this is the perfect time to confess, huh? Listen, Makoto, your hoodie is awesome. Thanks. You have really amazing fashion sense. I'm surprised he doesn't yell at everybody for being out of uniform, including himself. Now wearing a hoodie under your school uniform. Your public morals are ruined, just absolutely ruined. Sorry, did I do something wrong? The dress code was pretty flexible at my old school. Yeah, I doubt a Japanese school would be flexible on a dress code. Not by that much. Well, that's not the case here at Hope's Peak Academy. As long as I live, I will protect our morals. Take off that incredibly stylish hoodie this instant. Right now? Of course. Crap, Taka seems to be taking this really seriously. Well, I better come up with a good excuse. I actually have... Oh, I might actually... But it's a flashlight, but it's a raincoat, but it's a makeshift hard hat. I think raincoat probably is the right answer here, but as a Westerner, I'm not sure what the rules would be as far as wearing raincoats over school uniforms in school anyways. But this hoodie doubles as a raincoat. I don't want to get caught by surprise in a thunderstorm. Japan, it rains a lot, so that would make sense.
Just hold on.
You can't fool me, huh?
You hear me?
That hoodie would only protect your head. It's hardly a raincoat if it doesn't cover the rest of your body. My suggestion is to get an umbrella. Good advice.
Understand?
Now take off that incredibly stylish hoodie this instant. Crap. Alright, so that was wrong. But it's a flashlight. I don't see that idea, so let's go with it's a makeshift hard hat. But it's the next best thing to a hard hat. A hard hat? Yeah, I mean, this school's really dangerous, you know? There's no telling what might happen. So, like, just in case, you know? You may have a point there. I do, I totally do. Well, if it's for your own safety, I suppose I can give you special permission just this once.
You hear me?
But the instant the school goes back to normal, you will hand over that amazingly cool hoodie. Yeah, you got it. Students these days are utterly ignorant of the proper dress code. It's quite a pain. Look at that face, just crying and about to have an aneurysm. This kind of highlights what the morals committee really means in Japan. It's not like Judeo-Christian morals or anything like that. It's not about love one another and be nice to each other and do all of that. In fact, if anything, bullying and fighting outside of school are pretty much completely turned a blind eye to. Morals, what they mean by that is following rules. Whatever insane rules have been established without question and without change. Or it would be better to call it the morale committee, as if they were all soldiers and being held to military strict standards to keep the morale of the military units together and have everybody act the same and look the same and think the same, which, if anything, that is kind of what the Japanese schools are trying to do. And frankly, it's not uncommon for most schools to try to do that. And frankly, I don't understand youth fashion these days anyway. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to teach you all about how you should be dressing. Huh? Getting fashion advice from Taka, well, let's just say unexpected. I wear this tie 365 days a year. That seems weird. He's not even wearing a tie. Rain or shine, flood or drought, wind or hail and hurricane. I would have thought he would have had at least 2 or 3 uniforms so that he could swap between them, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there are some Japanese students out there that have only one uniform. Sometimes the high school uniforms can be very expensive, insanely expensive, frankly, and they have to just like wash them and then dry them and have them hope that they've dried before the next day of school. Even on your days off, even on holidays? School itself may observe holidays, but there's no such thing as vacation for a student. So as long as I live the life of a student, I will always wear my uniform. I see. Also, I have 10 sets of my uniforms. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. So I always have a clean one. There's nothing strange about that. 10 sets seems extreme. I could see having 10 undershirts, but entire coats over it, like overshirts, button up fancy shirts like that seems unnecessary. And most guys really only need 2 or 3 sets of pants, particularly if it's a uniform pants, and there's no fashion difference. But I guess if there's slacks, you might need to swap between them. I once worked a job where I was supposed to be in IT, but I was working on computers that were often very dusty, and yet the boss, who eventually I realized knew nothing about IT, and although he was in charge of the IT department, had instilled and was enforcing an insane dress code of everyone wearing slacks. So for pretty much the entire time I worked there, I would get all kinds of dust and all kinds of like thermal paste and just elements of dirt and grime from computers all over slacks, and I was constantly having to wash the same pair of fancy black slacks that you would expect an office worker sitting in front of a desk to wear when I was working out of a filthy, dirty workshop. And if anything, that probably should have been a red flag of teaching me that the person in charge didn't know what they were talking about or didn't know how IT worked in general, because he was just trying to instill standard business attire. But yeah, that has nothing to do with this game, so I'm gonna move forward. No, I'd say wearing your uniform when you're not in school is totally strange. I'd better keep that to myself though. Haha, trust me, wear the uniform every day helps you keep you motivated. You should give it a shot. That's exactly what the kind of guy I thought he was. That band on his arm, by the way, is like the band that says he's in charge of the morals committee, more than likely. The pin on his shirt, I don't know what that would be for, frankly. I've seen name tags for like kindergartners pinned on the shirts of Japanese students, but I've never seen a student have any kind of adornments or decorations like a military pin. Almost all school uniforms are based on naval uniforms, and there is some ridiculousness based on those uniforms also. But if a student was awarded any kind of award, I would think it would be weird to be pinned on his shirt. Taka's card has been updated. For experience, your maximum skill points has increased. Headed back to my room, just trying to skim this content. We're still getting the same announcements.
Okay,
I
then.
guess
Sweet
I am
dreams.
happy to see that there aren't any Monokuma theaters or anything like that. Cooking Mama-kun. Alright, so we do have enough to craft that. Good. And then we do have enough to craft that. Good. And we were one short as far as the secret book of poems, which means we are short musical scores. Are we close to anything else? We can't craft any more of those. We don't have anything that would get us a cleaning maestro or cook cheat sheet. These upgrades actually I think are probably not worth ever getting. And so I guess that means that there's little reason to craft anything else. Let's see. Greek statue we would need 2. So can we make 2 Greek statues? No, but we can make 1. Welders. We need 3 welders. We have enough steering wheels. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We just need wrenches now. Actually, I think I just created welders when I didn't need to make welders, didn't I? Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay better attention, because I already had the pectoral harness. So I just wasted a bunch of items. Is there any argument to crafting anything here? No. Not really.
Hey, come on now.
What is this? Aren't you guys all underage? I guess I think technically no they aren't, but they might. I mean, if they came into high school at like 15, they might be 17, and I don't. Maybe they need 21, age of 21 to drink. I think it's closer to 19 as far as the drinking limit in Japan. They sell alcohol without any kind of age verification through vending machines out in public. Students are just assumed that they won't drink, and they're told not to drink, and they follow the rules so much that it's not really an issue. This is cooking Mama-kun? Seems weird. What is this? Aren't you guys all underage?
True.
Drinking is absolutely out of the question. If I find one of you has been hitting the sauce, total devastation.
Of course.
You better believe this one's rejected. Rejected, rejected, rejected. It's a total failure, but you technically did finish your assignment,
What are you
so
gonna do?
I guess I'll give you some more tickets. Since we didn't finish the last one, we didn't get trip tickets. So the next concept is Moe Kuma, right here. Alright, so we are looking for well, that's an Attack on Titan reference that they're showing there. But Attack on Titan really isn't a Moe anime by any means. So paint secret books of poems. Okay. All my secret books of poems are gonna be gone. Paint. We need a lot of paint. A lot of integrated circuits. Which means we need 2 musical scores. And we need a lot of watercolor paint. So we're going to just send everyone, I think, to the music room and the art room. Stack of marbles apparently still something we're looking for. Physics lab. I think we kind of... we need all of our energetic people to pretty much go here and do that. And then I can either risk everybody going to the art room, or and this might just mean everybody passes out, or something else. Musical score. That one. And that one. And that one. And that one. And that one. See, we're either going to screw this up terribly, or we're gonna pull this off. So let's do one thing interesting here, and let's bring all of the guys down to the physics lab for integrated circuits, and then have all the girls go to the art room. And that means if I screw this up terribly, a lot of the girls are going to end up passed out. Otherwise, this might work fine. And yeah, this is fairly slow. I feel like the text should scroll down, or it should get smaller, or take a second row. Alright, go meet with someone. Once again, we'll just hang out with Taka until we max out his side. We won't get an opportunity to really use the Monokuma tickets at all. Well, I suppose we should take a break once in a while. Let's partake in some of my delicious tea. Went to a dining hall and made some of his delicious tea, not described. Taka and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give him a present? Sure. So I feel like the school book did work. Whereas I don't feel like the second button did.
I see.
No, that was wrong too. I'm weak, Makoto. So very weak. What happened? Haven't you realized the school is missing something of utmost importance? Textbooks. Classes. Oh, I can't say I really missed that stuff. I'm just gonna come out right out and say it. I'm freaking out. As we speak, we're being left in the dust by other students our age. I'm totally freaking out. Makoto, what should I do? If I keep involuntarily skipping class like this, I'm gonna reach dunce status in no time. It's really not that big a deal, just calm down. You're always at the top of your classes at that private school you used to go to, right? Oh, Makoto's just shown that he stalked all the students before he arrived here. He kept that secret so well up until this point. I mean, you're basically genius level. So even if you miss a few classes, it's not the same as just some ordinary kid ditching. ... Genius? Don't say that, huh? Like, if Taka was supposed to be a genius, he really didn't show it. Kyoko outshone him a ton by that, huh? I'm no genius. I'm a normal person like anyone else. I'm from a middle-class family, you know. Actually, they're not even middle class. That's why I have to push so hard. I have to knock down that wall. It's not geniuses that change the world. It's ordinary people who make every effort they can. And to prove that, I have to keep on making effort after effort after effort. So don't call me a genius. Don't lump me with those lazy clods who don't put in any effort. Sorry, I didn't. That's not what I was trying to do. ... No, I'm sorry. I got a little carried away. But I only said all that because you and me are the same. You and me, we're just normal people. We know what it means to have to make an effort. That's why I want you to know exactly how I feel. I understand.
In other words,
And that's a weird voice line. And that's why I'm so passionate about my work on the Morals Committee. I want to create an environment where everyone has the opportunity to give it everything they've got.
hear me?
That's why I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into creating that kind of environment. I want everyone else to understand that too. In the end, you can't succeed if you don't try. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Effort is everything, and it's the only way to fix anything in this world. And I have to prove that to all ordinary people out there, so they'll keep on trying. I have become the ordinary man who can surpass any genius. Those are the feelings I carried with me when I entered the Hope's Peak Academy. But now I'm trapped here. I've been robbed of the effort to make that effort. Opportunity to make that effort. So now what am I supposed to do? Taka. Sorry, Makoto. Didn't mean to make you listen to my pathetic complaining. No, it's not pathetic at all. I can totally understand why you'd be upset. You obviously feel really strong about this. I really hope you don't give up and start to lose track of what you want to do. If you really believe that effort is what matters, then you can't give up, right? Because if you can't make that effort, then what do you have left? ... I think until you said that just now, I totally forgotten what I was here for. The foundation of effort is the will to never give up. You're right. I have to try, no matter the situation. Even without classes, without assignments. I can just look back at what I've learned already and reinforce those basic techniques. Yeah, good idea. I'm glad we had this talk, Makoto. Wow, I feel so much better after getting all of that off my chest. As my way to say thanks, next time I buckle down for a study session, I'll make sure to invite you. Let's work together as fellow ordinary people to show those geniuses who's boss. His face filled with some unwavering confidence I was used to seeing from him. I feel like maybe I'm starting to understand him a little better, but I still think he might be a genius. Specifically, he's a genius when it comes to effort. Still, I did notice one thing. He seems to have a lot of hostility toward the idea of someone being a genius. Is there some reason he feels that way? So yeah, he may be a genius, and that's why he can't relate to normal people as well as he would like to. He wants to be a normal person for sure, or treated like a normal person. Once we're all done, I head back to my room for a little while. These are very basic responses after you have an hangout session. I wonder what the number of hangout sessions really would be for a high school student in the West or in Japan, really. Like, school years probably go somewhere around 280 days if I was to pick a number out of the 365 days that exist. And so if you're hanging out with somebody every lunch break and maybe before school and after school, you could have 750 thereabout, a little less than that, somewhere around 700, I guess, hangout sessions in a year minimum, assuming you're not just hanging out in class also. And that doesn't account for any weekend hangouts. Today is your weekly day off. Okay, dismissed. Alright, so now we have more opportunity to try and build up with Taka and get his story. It is better to get the story linearly instead of jump around between 5 different characters, which is what you would have to do if you were just playing this strategically. What's that? You want to hear what I've got to say? Very well. I've got many theories on many topics, and I'll share them all with you. Taka went into extremely detail on some of his many theories. Taka and I grew a bit closer. Would you like to give him a present? Yes, definitely. Alright, well, I have no idea what to give this guy at this point, so let's try Hope's Peak Ring. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Wow, this is how far you're willing to go and try and become friends with me.
I'm very happy right now.
How nice of you. Well, we figured it out. Hope's Peak Ring going forward. I get the impression you liked it. That's good.
Listen to me.
Would you like to study with me, Makoto? Just the two of us? Come to my room. If there's anything you don't understand, I'm a very attentive teacher. I don't think I need you to be all that attentive, but sure, I don't mind if I stop. You don't mind if I stop by? Of course not. Okay, let's do it. With Taka leading the way, we headed to his room.
Hey.
You know what they could have done is we could have implied that all of these interactions and relationships and conversations happened before the first murder even happened, and when you had free time you would go search a student's room or go to a student's room and then or go and flash back and kind of have the have all the conversations and everything be flashbacks. That way, by the time the first murder happens, everybody has hung out with everybody. Everybody's still decently good friends to begin with, and it's not just all, we've just met these people, we distrust them, we're trying to murder them. That's counterintuitive to getting to the murder games, but it does potentially allow for having conversations with characters who may already be dead, or and for you to actually care about the characters before they die. Sayaka is a great example of that. They tried very hard to make you care about Sayaka, but she was dead so fast in the first chapter that it really doesn't make any sense that you would care. Of course, in general, they're just video game characters, so you shouldn't care that much. Welcome, Makoto. You're the first guest I've invited to my room. Now that we're here, let me pose you a question. A question? Don't worry, no studying required. This is the most basic of basic questions. Very straightforward. Haha. This should be no challenge for you. Very easy, I assure you. Stop saying how easy it's going to be. That just puts me even more pressure on me. Okay, here we go. What country first established 0 as a numerical concept? Alright, well, let's take a moment and look. He's got a wooden sword, a practice sword in his office, in his room. Looks like he might have an ironing board back behind him. He's put up Japanese wall scrolls and a schedule on the wall. His bed is very plain. Alright, to answer the question, the Greeks? Yeah. 0 is a number, right? I'm pretty sure that came from an Asian country. Really? Okay. Maybe the Greeks invented a 0. Well, it's maybe Greeks invented negative numbers. I don't know. Be hard pressed to say Greece was an Asian country. Guess we're gonna have to say India. Oh. Now I know this is a Japanese game, but I don't think they'd be that jingoistic to just put out straight up propaganda. Although, as a person who was educated in the United States, I might be totally wrong, and maybe Japan did invent the 0 as a number. I wouldn't be surprised if it was parallel thinking, and several countries have histories of seeming like they invented it. It was India, wasn't it? Correct. Good job, Makoto. I have faith in you, and you came through for me.
You hear me?
Seeing you get exactly excited is getting me excited. Let's stack our effort one on top of each other and show those self-centered genius jerks what for. Hey, Taka?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I just noticed you seem to really hate the idea of geniuses. I guess I feel like they're just my sworn enemy, you know? Huh? But you hit the nail on the head. You're pretty sharp. But why? There's someone I respect, someone I hate, someone I have to surpass. His older brother? Because he was a genius. What?
In other words.
Yeah. Toranosuke Ishimaru. Do you recognize that name? He was my grandfather. Grandfather, not brother. He was once Prime Minister of Japan. Okay. Alright, that's some big shoes to fill. He was your grandpa. He went from Minister of Foreign Affairs to Chief Cabinet Secretary and finally Prime Minister. I feel like half of the Prime Ministers of Japan also end up leaving in disgrace for one reason or another. Although, in all fairness, that's pretty much how almost every big politician ends up leaving this scene. Anywhere. And all without any support network and only a high school degree. He was simply a genius. Everything he did without any effort. He sounds like an amazing person. I don't know if that name is an actual name of a prime minister or not. Couldn't tell you. And he was your grandfather? He was a genius. He'd never known failure. His success was unimaginable to a normal person. But because of that, he allowed himself to be controlled by naive emotions and got roped into a corruption scandal. Alright, called that. He had no idea what the world of geniuses was really like. At least that's how I see it. At that point he fell as fast as he had risen. And it just wasn't in politics. The business world had no use for him anymore and he plummeted. His debt he left behind torments my family to this day. He died a few years ago, but by the end he wasn't speaking to anyone. Despite his fame, his legacy, the only people who came to his funeral were family members. That's hard to imagine.
You hear me?
Some consider genius fate's blessing, but I see it as a tragedy more than anything. The tragedy of finding success without understanding the importance of effort. There's nothing worse than a genius who trips and falls, just like my grandfather. And that's why you hate the word genius?
Count on it.
My grandfather serves as an important lesson why you must never be deceived by words like genius. Relying on my effort, I will reach greater accomplishments than anyone my grandfather ever did.
You hear me?
So we have to work hard to build a society where those who put in the most effort are properly rewarded. This is an interesting thought. Unfortunately, I don't know how you accomplish that, or if you can. I see. Sadly, cheaters often do win, and people often do get lucky. Effort is often not rewarded fairly or equally. I can agree with him, but Taka and I aren't the same. I can't reach for those kind of big dreams. But you know, Makoto, I'm really happy. I figured the school would be full of geniuses. I mean, I thought everyone would be my enemy. I never imagined I'd meet someone here I could share my story with. I'm so lucky to have met you here. This kind of thing only happens once in a lifetime. I hope we can stay close and combine our efforts to shape things the way we want. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we have to keep on studying. I feel like I've come to understand Taka a lot better. I wonder if this is the last one. Yeah, he does just have like an ironing board. And he seems to have a radiator or a shrine. Maybe that's what that is. Like, yeah, it kind of looks like a shrine. That might be the grandfather, a shrine to the grandfather in the floor there behind the ironing board. I think we finally become friends in the truest sense of the word. And I just got an achievement for that, so yeah. Maximum skill points up again. So now we need to pick someone else. Sorry, I went just quiet there. Okay. Well, I don't feel like we were too far from Kyoko's story being wrapped up anyway, so we should probably just go down that route. And just make sure that's where we are here. So we have Mondo, Hifumi, Yashihiro. Doing Hifumi and Yashihiro close together is going to kind of suck. And then we should do Kyoko and then Aoi. And probably should do 2 girls in a row, frankly. Finish up Kyoko and then start working on Aoi too. And I think we leave Junko probably for the last, and instead we do Chihiro as a guy. Right. Spend some time together. We're probably very close to the end of her story anyways.
Correct.
Want to spend some time with me, but I don't have anything to say. Are you okay with that? Spend some time in silence. Kyoko and I grow a little closer. Would you like to give her a present? Yes, definitely. Is there possibly something else? Like Sonic Cup Noodle? Should we risk that and give it to her? Yeah, some of these food things just feel like they aren't right. So we could try the Hope's Peak classroom. Let's just try that. Actually feel pleased. How strange. I get the impression that she liked it. That's good. It might very well be that just some gifts are very good and some gifts are very bad in general. And there is no actual split between specific gifts for specific people. Although it seems like that would be the case. ... Quiet as ever. I guess she doesn't like to waste her words. Hey, Kyoko? If you're expecting a conversation, don't. There's no need for it. But I mean, don't you think talking is important? I feel like if we're going to get out of here, we all need to be on the same page. And to do that, we need to get to know each other. You could certainly make the argument that forming friendships may help prevent killings.
So,
But are you asking for some kind of deep connection? Huh?
because
You could just be deceiving us, pretending to be everyone's friend so you can gather information. No, that's not.
why?
Well then, let's do a quick test, shall we? A test.
That's right.
If you're gung-ho on friendship, as you claim, this should be an easy question. Oh, okay. So I just have to answer your question, is that it?
So then,
Are you ready? You consider Hina to be one of your friends, yes? Okay. Yes? If that's true, what is her ultimate ability? That's an easy one. Hina's ultimate ability, she's training for the Olympics. and swimming. One of the options there was nice Bonnie. Ina's the ultimate swimming pro, of course.
Correct.
Well, asked and answered.
It would seem...
Then your pleas of camaraderie are true. Of course. Yes, of course. Such a foolishly open person as you could never lie. Everyone would know it right away. Again with that foolishly open stuff.
So then...
Been a while, and so you can't really go back very easily and get the gist of what your relationship or interactions with a character would be. Like, you get just the smallest bit of info, and that's it. Most people worry about what they might lose in life, but she seems concerned what she's already lost. That's the only recap I think you can actually get at all. Would you like to know about me? Let's see. What school did you use to go to before you came here?
So...
Before I came here, ... I guess I was living abroad. Was it an exchange program, or do your parents work overseas or something? ... My parents, I suppose. Why all the question marks? Anyway, okay. So she was living abroad because of her dad's job. So what kind of work does he do? ... Foreign government, top secret clearance. She's just lying to you. More question marks. Well, maybe she's talking about her stepfather? No, she probably just doesn't know because of her memory loss at this point. More question marks. Okay, so he does top secret work for other governments. All I can think of is assassin. I kept up my end of the deal. This should be enough, right? I'm leaving now. She left without even waiting for a reply. She's so full of mystery. And hearing what she had to say just added even more mystery on top of everything. So we're getting more skill points. We should be getting close to having 30 skill points, I think. There's no good way to even tell, because you can't pull it up anywhere. Like it definitely feels like there should be a stat screen somewhere that I'm just totally missing. Like, or that a stat screen, like on the day changes, should show up. Let's see. Yeah, there's kind of nothing here as far as that. Alright, where are we? We need tons of paint, an integrated circuit, and tons of books of secret poems. So, do that. Do that. Seems like nobody failed either. Should I get humanities now, or should I wait? I think what I should be looking for is just trying to get small light bulbs and reference books, and maybe one Greek statue if we can craft one. But we also need Monokuma photo albums and antiseptic solution if we can get that too. Right, well, I'll get to that. Yeah, antiseptic solution, box cutters, Monokuma photo albums, reference books, and small light bulbs. And then mostly focus on books of secret poems and paint, which means musical scores and sex and marbles, and watercolor paints. And we'll have to see how this is really going to work. Right. Let's see. Musical score, still good. Clean, clean. Nobody got knocked out here. It seems like everybody, because they had the day off, just got the same amount of energy back. So I kind of probably don't need to change anything. But we've got a lot focusing on watercolors. I feel like there's maybe another integrated circuit necessary, or a sack of marbles. Nope, I think we're good. Let's just do that. And if anything, I have too many people focused on cleaning, so that I got the cleaning to the max, where I could have probably had one less cleaner. So I'll need to keep that in mind. We have 3 characters leveling up. Go with Kyoko again.
Certainly.
There's no reason to decline, and I'm not the type to decline anyway. Besides, I find myself more and more intrigued by someone like you. Spend some time with Kyoko. Kyoko and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give her a present? Sure. What would you like to give her? Is there anything else that I could be certain of? Let's try this perfume.
Thank you.
Thank you, this really means a lot to me. Good, I'll just give her the perfume every time she's blushing. Seeing Kyoko so pleased with something I gave her makes me happy. ... Oh, Kyoko. ... How do you say so calm, Kyoko?
What?
Calm? I mean, you never lose your cool. You never show emotion. You say that like I'm some kind of inhuman beast. No, I don't mean it like that. Well, I am human. I do have emotions. I simply keep it to myself. I don't show it on my face or in my voice. You make that sound way easier than it is, especially in these kinds of circumstances.
That's what we have to do.
Well, you should consider trying. Your naive honesty makes you an easy target. She keeps saying things like that. It's kind of irritating. Isn't there anything I can say to get a reaction out of her?
In other words,
Protect against deception and never allow others to read your emotions. And whoever stands before you, don't let them push you around.
correct.
Remember that. And that's why you hide your own feelings? But that's such a waste.
What?
Your smile is just so cute. Hiding it behind a mask is such a waste. A bright smile is way better. What are you talking about? And see, now they've got her blushing and smiling.
What?
Cute. It's much too soon to bring up things like that. Oh, looks like I got you to show a hint of emotion, didn't I?
What?
What? You, Makoto, you?
It can't be.
You deceived me. Huh, wait.
Why?
I don't believe this. To use the word cute, which in Japanese would be kawaii, and it has more of an impact on calling a girl cute than saying cute. In English, you can say, oh yeah, you look cute today, and if you don't put too much emphasis on it, it doesn't really mean anything, or that's a cute little girl in kindergarten, or my daughter's really cute, or that's a cute little baby. Those all don't really have the same meaning as cute means in Japanese, where cute is almost an obsession by a large amount of Japanese girls to always be cute and look cute and be perceived as cute, and that's where you get the J-pop characters and the moe art style and all of that. It's a big accession both by Japanese males and females. So yeah, if you call someone cute in Japanese of your same age, you're saying something something closer to saying like, "Damn girl, you look sexy today," in English. It's much more of a come on. That's just too cruel. Sorry, I just got carried away. But still, I did deceive you. But it's not like it was a total lie. Huh. You see how easily you let yourself be... You see how easily you yourself are deceived, huh?
Hey.
You would never come out and call someone cute like that. Completely out of character. You thought I wouldn't pick up on such an obvious ploy? What you mean? I thought I tricked you, but I was the one getting tricked. Watch yourself, Makoto. You're honest to a fault. With that, she was gone. So, yeah. He was trying to tease her, and then she turned it around and teased him. Or played it off like that. The most formidable opponent. Okay. So now we have neural liberation as a skill. Yeah, another skill that's useless. I feel like there should be a level up that happens to characters when you hang out with them. Instead of their gathering ability going up +1 because they've done a lot of gathering, it should go up because you have hung out with them, and that would be a better way to integrate the system back into itself, instead of having two games that have characteristics and attributes that are shared but not integrated well. Yeah, I could see hanging out with each character and then getting +1/+1 of gathering and cleaning for every time you have a successful date with a character. Which would mean a faster experience to get to the end game here. Which it is extremely slow at this point to get to the end game. With Kyoko gone, I slowly made my way back to the room. They're not bothering to do the ding dong in text,
Okay.
which I'm glad for that. So they did save us one line of dialogue. 20 more days. I'm gonna give it everything I've got today so we can get out of here together. Saka seems to be feeling pretty good. Alright. Where are we? Still looking for paint and books of poems. So... tin on paint. And we need musical scores. I just don't think we're gonna make it at this rate. We have 4 days left, and unless we manage to throw everything into things, I just don't know how we're gonna manage. We've got everything we need except for paint and secret books of poems, but we would need 2 more secret books of poems, which we can do. That's just a couple music scores, but we need a massive amount of paint, and I couldn't even make spirit bombs if I wanted to, so that's not the solution. So I need watercolor paints, and I need a crazy amount. If I could get, I guess I'm looking for 20 watercolor paints in this next run. Let's see, would humanities, would this upgrade matter? Yeah, I don't think I could craft that. Okay. So we've got to relax him. And then that, and then that. And do I even need musical score anymore? Let's see. Keep on keeping on that one. So we're basically sending one person to get the last musical score, and I hope that's enough. If we send him, he's gonna pass out anyways, so we might as well not send him and just have everybody go for watercolor paints. Interesting. So everybody's gonna either be cleaning or going to the same location. I think we were trying to get 20. Looks like we may be a little short, but maybe close enough. And we have another level up. I can see at this point, though, it doesn't feel like there's enough time to hang out and get everybody to maximum in one loop of this. But there definitely won't be anything that different playing this a second time. It'll just be easier to actually succeed. And they didn't ask for any difficulty setting or anything at the beginning, so they basically developed this so you would fail the first time. Suppose a change of pace is necessary sometimes. Fine then. Why don't we take a little break? I spent some time with Kyoko doing nothing in particular. Kyoko and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give her a present? Yes, definitely. What do I want to give her? I wish it would just remember what I was on last. That would work perfectly fine. She liked the perfume. How did you know I was interested in this? You're an enigma, Makoto Naegi. Seeing her so pleased with something I give her makes me happy. ... Can we finish this already? Huh? Finish?
So...
If we truly want to trust each other, we must truly know each other. That's what you believe, isn't it? Well, yeah, but...
Hey.
I understand why you feel that way, but... When it comes to me, I think you should probably give up. What? Why?
So...
Because I don't have anything to talk to you about. Does that mean you don't trust me? ... If you get too involved with someone, you are apt to lose any sense of good judgment.
That's what we have to do.
I learned that lesson myself all too well. Personal experience is a ruthless teacher. Personal experience?
Hey.
Surely you know, by now you've noticed what I always wear. Something unique to me. Ah, so we're finally going to get the backstory of her burnt hands. She's always wearing gloves. It's those gloves, right?
Indeed.
That's right. But why did you bring them up? Does it have something to do with getting involved like you mentioned?
So...
Simply put, there was a time when I grew attached to someone and I made a bad decision. I was forced to learn a very powerful lesson, and these gloves are a daily reminder of that. So on these gloves, I swore to never make the same mistake again. Sorry, but I'm not sure I completely understand. Can you tell me more about it? Maybe then I could.
However...
I'm sorry, but I can't. That's the end of it. See, and they have to be so cryptic here because they've written this in a way so that Kyoko in particular just doesn't give you any backstory and spoil the main story revelations, which really just goes to highlight how the relationship mechanic for the game of Danganronpa in particular, not all visual novels, in most visual novels it would have worked perfectly, but for Danganronpa it's really counterintuitive and bad. It shouldn't be there. So then I never got to learn anything about her, about how she feels. ... Anyway, don't get too depressed over all this. The reason I'm not willing to talk about it isn't because I don't distrust you. In fact, I do have faith in you, which is why I've decided to tell you what I have.
Correct.
I want you to understand why I can't tell you. I can't show you myself, just like I can't show you what's beneath these gloves. I can't remember the last person who saw what was beneath my gloves. That long?
Indeed.
That's right. I can't imagine a point where I would show them ever again. We do see her show them later. Only someone I could call family would be worthy. Interesting. That kind of recontextualizes the ending of the game, of the main story. Family.
Listen.
Are you going to volunteer? Huh?
Hmm?
Got you again. You really are foolishly open. She did get me again and laughed at me again, but I've never really heard her laugh out loud like that. I think that must be her natural laugh. It is, right? That wasn't fake. So maybe in the end she did show me some part of herself. Maybe she showed me her true feelings.
Whew.
I know I always tell you to be careful and protect yourself, but to be honest, I hope you don't change. I prefer you this way. This is you. In the end, I never really did figure her out, but at least I got a little bit closer. So that's it for Kyoko's story, and that is incredibly disappointing as far as actual content and revelations. You could have definitely hinted at some more things. Your maximum skill points have increased. After we finished up, I went back to my room. Let's see. Skip
Okay
through all of
then.
this. Day 30. It literally is gonna
Hell
take
yeah.
like 6 hours to get through one playthrough of this, which in comparison to the main game, I guess that's really just a drop in the bucket. Alright. Construction time. We need 20 tin paints and 2 books of poems. We didn't get any musical scores, so we're just gonna have to hope we got enough paint to satisfy. Nope. Okay. Which this kind of highlights the idea that the next challenge is going to be even more challenging. And I don't know if the characters, the backups you're supposed to make are the same each playthrough, if they're randomized, or if their requirements change, or what. But for paint, we're going to need watercolor paints 1, and then musical scores for the rest. And I don't feel like there's anything else that we can safely do. That being said, I am gonna pretty much decide to make a whole bunch of sandwiches, I guess. No, it's probably better to make lunch milk after we make the Monokuma, so we have a little bit of that to sit on. Because right now, as far as consumables, I have nothing. And we know that there's going to be a raise your cleanliness by 1 item, and there's got to be something else here that either restores the health of all students or does something completely different. Okay. We're back to normal here. Watercolor paints. Which one? What do we need? 1 watercolor paints, everything else is musical scores. Alright. So musical score. And then rest, and then musical score, and then musical score, clean, watercolor paints, that can stay, musical score, Rest, rest, rest. Watercolor paints. Musical score there. Musical score there. Musical score there. Yeah, that should do us fine. We should be able to pull that one off perfectly fine. Meanwhile, our hope is that we'll just get other things on top of it so that we'll have enough resources otherwise. Yeah, that wasn't a ton of variety, but that was 19 musical scores. Spend some time now with... Well, we have now 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're probably best going with Chihiro. Either now or later. I don't know what our relationship actually is with some of these characters. We go with Mondo, and then we could go with Chihiro, and then we could go with did we hang out with Mondo? No, I don't think we have. Let's go with Mondo, and then we'll go with Chihiro, and then we'll reevaluate at that point. Just make sure we're smart. We're playing smart here. Yeah, Mondo's good. And then we do Chihiro, who's the crossdresser, and looks mostly like a girl. And will probably mostly be treated like a girl in these dating scenarios. I don't know how you get Makoto up to the maximum, if we ever do. That may just never be a case. And we can almost certainly figure out some item to give the Mondo they'll like. But we have like 9 more days, which is probably 10 more hanging outs with people, which is not enough to get everybody's relationship up. You're kind of weird, you know that? You ain't afraid of me, all wanting to hang out. Well, whatever. You're gonna go get something to drink? Mondo and I went to a dining hall and had some tea. Mondo and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give him a present? Sure. Okay. What is specifically a item that I feel like Mondo would like? A vice? I mean, we could try a vice. Let's give a vice a chance.
What?
Come on,
What?
man, you seriously thought I want something like that? I mean, idiot, I don't want it. Well, I don't think he was too happy with that.
Yo.
Hey, Makoto, what's your ride? My ride?
What?
Yeah, man, your hog, your chopper, your motorcycle. I don't ride anything. What? You're not a little kid anymore, right? And you still don't have a hog?
Jesus Christ.
God, you're such a dweeb. Oh, he's gonna cuss the whole time. Oh, sorry.
Yo.
Alright, man, I'm gonna educate you. A real man rides Kawasaki, okay? That's what I
Hell
ride.
yeah.
You ought to see it, man. It's got V-twins, got that monster power. It's like you're dancing. Of course, it ain't just for anyone. You gotta have the skill to handle it. You must really love your motorcycle.
Stop fucking around.
Hell yeah, I do. I'm a biker, ain't I? We're crazy as hell. Yeah, you're the leader of the biggest biker gang in Japan, right?
Hell yeah.
Damn straight. The crazy, invincible, crazy diamond gang. You wanna come ride with us? The monster sound coming out of that straight pipe. Hot damn. Straight pipe.
What?
Come on, you gotta know what a straight pipe is. So like when something's missing, right? That's why it makes a monster sound. It's got no muffler on it. Interesting. That's when a motorcycle doesn't have a muffler, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a guess on my part. I don't think a lot of Japanese people even have mopeds, let alone motorcycles or cars. Particularly if you're living out of Tokyo, or if you're in a small town where everything is walking distance. That is one nice thing about Japanese cities, is with maybe the exception of Tokyo, everything is centralized very well, where you don't need to actually have your own private form of transport. You can get crammed into a subway or just walk to wherever you need to go. So you did no good. Then that's that. Next time we ride, you're gonna ride with us.
True.
Man, that makes me think back to when I first started riding.
Yo.
My big bro used to ride too, you know? His name was Daya. Daya and Mondo. Together they were the Diamond Brothers. Everyone up and down the country knew us.
What?
Of course, I was always the cool one. The Diamond Brothers, that sounds kind of incredible.
By the way.
Interesting kind of reflection there, that Mondo was and his brother were the Diamond Brothers, and then Junko and her sister were the Despair Sisters. First time I went out, I ended up at the back of the pack. Eventually, as the cops got on us, they surrounded me. I was in some tough poop, man.
Hey, damn it.
So I pulled over, but when they came up to me, well, let's just say it was a massacre. Massacre, man, Mondo. You must be really strong.
Stop fucking around.
Of course, you can't wave the banner for our gang without that kind of strength.
Shit.
In a fight, they'll go for the leader first. Kill the leader of the pack, you know? That's why the other gangs come after me. So if you want to be leader of the pack, you gotta be a tough MFer.
Yo.
You'll see what I mean when we go on our first ride. Get ready for it. Actually, maybe it's better if I don't get involved in that kind of thing. And like I said, I don't have a motorcycle. I don't even know how to drive one.
Hell yeah.
Then you can ride with me. Riding with Mondo, but other gangs target him first, right? No way.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I said get ready for it. Damn, I'm pumped. I can't wait to get out of here now. Yeah, I don't think Makoto got a choice there. Mondo left apparently in a pretty good mood. Crap, this is really bad. Even if I get out of here, I might still be in real trouble. And see, that was a weird scenario because we clearly gave a bad gift, and yet it still moved us forward and moved us up a tier. So maybe it doesn't matter at all, or maybe you only need a great gift by the 3rd or 4th tier, and you can give bad or mediocre gifts on the 1st tier, and then mediocre gifts on the presents on the 2nd gear. More skill points. More completely useless skill points that at this point I should be able to assign to use in some way here in this gameplay mechanic. Dragging my anxiety behind me, I went back to my room. And it's gonna be so crazy is I may very well get all the skills and all the skill points and go back and play one trial and find that the trial is just incredibly easy. Right. We seem to be fairly consistently getting at least one person to be popular. So we need 1 paint, and then 2 of those. And then that means we can make the Moe Monokuma. Which, it does kind of feel like we could make another Moe Monokuma at this point. We need sacks of marbles now. Small light bulb still. Or antiseptic solution. I kind of would hate to have to use 5 musical scores to make a non-sensu beam. I want to make one of these, though, because we clearly have never made one of those. And then I would like to make one of those. Right, but our real focus should be small light bulbs and box cutters and Monokuma photo albums. And that means sack of marbles more than anything. Alright. So box cutters, maybe? No, I don't think so. Don't think that's it. This would be the top tier antiseptic for one. Would be that. Sack of marbles would be fairly hard to get here. Where do we get small light bulbs though? Sack of marbles would be easiest here. Where do you get small light bulbs from? That one? Okay. Have that one clean. Sack of marbles. Sack of marbles. More sack of marbles. Is there something else we're looking for that we can try and really focus on? Maybe the top tier ones in particular really would require something else. Might be the case. Get that one. Get that one. Is there anything special? I'm gonna put one there. Let's give that a try. See how that works. This may be one of these types of games where getting from level 5 to level 6 is as much of an experience as it was to get from level 1 to level 5, and it just like doubles or gets exponentially bigger. That might explain why we have yet to hit like level 9 with any character. So we got 4 sacks of marbles, 2 antiseptic solutions, and a whole bunch of other stuff, that 1 small light bulb. We still have yet to get Monokuma's art thing, for what that's worth. So let's go to Mondo, and we're gonna call it a day after we turn in this Monokuma. Because yeah, this is obviously gonna take a long time. Huh? You want to hang out with
Hell
me?
yeah.
Perfect. I was getting bored anyways. Let's do something effing nuts. I had a very exciting time with Mondo. Mondo and I grew a little closer today. Would we like to give him a present? Sure. Well. Hope's Peak ring. But let's think about maybe going for that. That might be something to go with. Because otherwise, I just don't know. He might take the weapons. Might go fairly well with the weapons. Yeah, Muramasa. Let's give that to him. Well, if you're offering, I can't say no. He's blushing. That feels like that's a face that was never used in the main game, so somebody went in the extra effort to making that pose. Better not ask for it back. I get the impression that you liked it. That's good.
Shit.
Oh, damn it. Bastard. More cussing. What's wrong? Why are you so mad?
What?
Why am I mad? Why am I mad? Can't you see why I'm mad? I need to get out of here. I need to get out and run wild.
Shit.
I'm so pissed off right now. Poop. I know how you feel, but just don't do anything crazy, okay?
What?
Hey, how about we have a one-on-one? One-on-one?
Yo.
Relax. Just a bare-knuckle brawl. No weapons. What do you say? What?
What?
Didn't you hear me? A bare-knuckle brawl. Bare-knuckle brawl. Brawl. I better come up with something fast. When he says bare-knuckle brawl, I think he must mean bare knuckleball, one punch knockout, hand-to-hand. A hand-to-hand fight. Oh yeah, hand-to-hand, knuckle to knuckle. Hold on, friends can't fight each other.
What?
But that's the only way to burn off all this energy. I mean, I've never even been in a fight before. Oh, I know. Why don't you go ask Sakura?
Huh?
What? I mean, you can spar with her, right? You don't have to actually fight, but just train.
Damn you.
Don't be an idiot. I can't hit a girl. And she's a girl, right? It'd ruin my honor. My mom would kill me.
Piece of shit.
I'm serious. I can't hit girls. It's not like I'm scared of her or anything. You bastard. Did Mondo... Who did Mondo kill in the main story? Man, it's been so long I can't even remember. Mondo killed... How did Mondo kill? I am totally lost forgetting how that went, what went down and how it went down. He didn't kill Sakura for sure, because we know she killed herself. Oh, Mondo killed Chihiro in like a fit of rage, as it were. And so I guess he didn't technically hit a girl, he just hit a cross-dresser dressed as a girl. And I'm still going to stand by, I think cross-dresser is the right description for Chihiro, because she never really gave us any indication that he felt like a girl. He was using the cross-dressing to basically hide weakness. Okay, you don't have to shout.
Damn you.
Shouting's in my blood. When I get stressed out, I yell. Sounds like you must be really stressed out.
Don't fuck with me.
It's just a nervous habit. What's the big deal? Other than the fact that it makes it hard to ask girls out. I get all nervous and start yelling, so I always get rejected. And thanks to that, I'm on a 10-game losing streak right now. It really sucks. 10 games, that's pretty bad. So Mondo has tried to date 10 girls before he arrived here, I assume. I don't think there are 10 girls here. Grr. Poop. I've forgotten about that too. Thanks for reminding me. How are you gonna make it up to me? Grr. Now I'm getting all depressed. I'm out of here. Shoulders slumped, Mondo trudged away. I guess I kind of messed that up. But I did get to see this side of Mondo I had no idea existed. It was almost kind of cute. He'd murder me if he heard me say that, though. Alright. So now we have downshift as a skill, which I feel like downshift more than likely slows down the rhythm mini game, which would probably be very helpful for me in particular, having no rhythm. After we're done, I decided to head back to my room for a while. Go ahead and skip this. Can't really skip a lot of this.
Okay.
No. Day 33. So 17 more days. Pew.
Isn't that wonderful?
So we get some more items, but not as many items as I would have thought we would have gotten.
See ya.
Particularly at the beginning, it felt like he was just gonna always give us some nice amounts of stuff. Maybe it's a case you get more rewards of items if you construct the Mondo first. And maybe if you build two versions of it, you can upgrade it. Well, let's go ahead and get the long mop. We're still looking for 2 Mondo photo albums and small light bulbs, the secret books of poems. So we can craft more of those. And that was enough to build that. So now we're just looking for small light bulbs and Monokuma photo albums. And there, I assume, is no way I'd get enough to build anything else. So I should just mostly sit on everything else. Unless I want to make some consumables. Which, yeah, sitting on these items might still be useful. Yeah, the art room and the garden seem to be the right ones to go to more than anything. That could get you upgrades very early in the game. Aluminum cans and milk I think I could get fairly quickly. Sandwiches. As far as personal effects. Interesting, we do have a split here where it does seem like there maybe is some randomization to what you need to build. So one gameplay probably does not present you all the different Monokumas anyways. And like nobody's really failing here. Small light bulbs, Monokuma photo albums. Here we go. So will that make that guy pass out? No. So is there any big reason to change anything? Monokuma photo albums. Monokuma photo albums. Small light bulbs. Should I focus on the garden a little bit more? Probably wouldn't be a terrible thought to focus on the garden with the strong ones and then send everybody else down that path. Garden and art room. So just push a lot of people down to the garden like that. Then You go there. And you go there, and you go there. And would one cleaner be enough? No, I don't think it really will be, but I'm willing to risk it. But I could also, I probably shouldn't. Let's make that guy cleaner. No. That. Let's give that a try. Let's just see how this works. Didn't quite do all the cleaning, but that worked fine. Should we let's meet with Mondo one last time, and then we'll see how this ends. Yeah, this gameplay has certainly just kind of turned into a very laid-back, nothing experience, and seeing once again how many times you have opportunities to hang out with people. At best, at the end of this first playthrough, I might get a good ending with Sayaka, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't even get that. Oh yeah, I'm totally down to kill some time with you. Kill some time with Mondo. Mondo and I grew a little closer. Would you like to give him a gift? Yes, definitely. What did I give him last time? I feel like he liked it. Yeah, we gave him a weapon. So let's try that again. This whole system is not an efficient use of space on the screen by far. Yeah, we gave him Muramasa, which I feel like giving him Tetsuken also would work fine.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, man. Does that mean you liked it? Hey, Makoto. Listen, there's something I gotta ask you. What is it? You sound really serious.
What?
Just shut up and listen. So, you're a dog or a cat person? Huh?
Stop fucking around.
Just tell me before I beat the poop out of you. I'm a dog person, by the way. So what are you? Come on, tell me. Am I a dog or a cat person? Well, Mondo's a dog person, so I don't believe you. I'm gonna say cat person. Cat.
What?
What did you just say? What'd you just say? Nothing? I think it might be best just to follow his lead. Okay. Suppose we'll say we're a dog person. I'm kind of a dog person too.
What?
Really, you're not just saying that, right? No, it's true. Actually, I grew up with a dog in the house. It was a mutt, but it was still pretty cute.
Hell yeah.
Right, cats are okay, but dogs are way cuter. So how old is your dog? Well, we had him when I was a kid. It's dead now. Oh, I know how that feels, man. It's tough to lose a dog you love so much. I totally know how you feel. So you used to have a dog too?
Yo.
Yeah, Chuck, a Maltese. He died when he was 9. Maltese, I figured Mondo would be more of a pit bull guy or a Doberman. I'm not sure any of those breeds of dogs are going to be native to Japan, but okay.
By the way.
He was so smart, man. He'd bring in the newspaper every morning. Really? That's so cool.
Hell yeah.
Right. Then he'd beg me to take him for a walk. He'd look at me with those eyes of his and waggle that little butt. Gah, I don't want to remember this. Ugh, this seriously sucks. Don't look at me right now. I gotta go. Ugh, Chuck, my baby boy. So, had no idea he loved dogs that much. So we could give him the Dogs and Cats magazine, but I don't think it... maybe that would work, maybe it wouldn't. We might as well try it. Now we have Upshift as a skill, which was probably the opposite of Downshift, whatever Downshift is. We don't get any opportunity to see it or use it. Once we're all done, I head back to my room for a little while. honestly, every time we had a Monokuma theater section, had it been a dream section where we were all working together to make a backup for Mondo, and so then you had this, which is the real world? Are we working together and being happy and friendly, or are we in a murder mystery fighting each other? That would have been interesting too, to jump between two realities. At the very least, it would do better than whatever the point of the Monokuma theater stuff was, because that really was just weird, pointless stuff being thrown at the wall. So today's the day, huh? I guess I better review everything one more time. The concept was a Moe Kuma. We made one. We didn't get anywhere close to making any more. We're still looking for Monokuma photo albums and small light bulbs. And since we don't really need to craft anything else, it would be fairly silly, I think, to like do much else. We can construct that, and maybe that'll turn out to be useful for somebody, so that we could lock down one person as the cleaner always. I don't know if we're ever gonna need a spirit bomb. I'm not sure we're even gonna need lunch milks. We could certainly craft a bunch of stuff, but there's no reason to craft anything until we know what we need. We are kind of just hitting the end. Is this Moe? This is Moe question mark? It's got a certain cuteness, I guess, but something is off. It's wrong. So do it over. ... It's a total failure, but you did technically finish the assignment, so I guess I'll give you some more tickets. Received 8 trip tickets. So our next concept is Monokuma Savant, right here.
Hey there.
Don't know why, but I'm feeling super pumped today. Junko seems to feel pretty good. Okay. So let's come over here and save. We'll have to figure out where is a good place to save. Let's go ahead and overwrite that. Not enough save spots by far, obviously. Presents wise, we're still doing fine. We're not going to run out of presents. Report card rise, we're working on Mondo, and then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more people that we would have to get a star with, and we will definitely be done with the first playthrough before then. And there's definitely a possibility that we did not get 10 hearts with Sayaka. Almost certainly we haven't gotten 10 hearts with Sayaka. So yeah, we pretty much aren't going to get a good ending. I think we're going to get the intended bad ending where nobody gets a good ending, and then maybe on the second playthrough we start to have enough time. But then inherently I guess there is at least 3 or 4 playthroughs that would have to go through all of this, because you have 15 students. That's excluding Monokuma, which brings it up to 16 students. If you need 10 hearts and you have 50 days to get 10 hearts, or thereabout, yeah, just roughly 50 days, that means in each playthrough at best you would have gotten 5 of the 16 students perfect, and maybe you could get in 3 playthroughs everybody up to the maximum, but But man, that seems crazy. That seems really, really crazy that they're wanting you to play this game so much. And if anything, I may very well just be in a trap here that I'm going to either have to decide to just do a very soft rage quit and say I've had enough and I don't want to play the game anymore, or I'm going to end up playing this side game for 3 times in a row at maybe 18 extra hours of gameplay if it's going to take about 6 hours to do one run. And that just seems like totally insane. And I don't know how they could then convince me to go back and play the main game a second time. That seems totally ridiculous. But then I have no reason to even be getting the skill points if I don't go back and at least play one trial. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.